Hi, I'm Dan Aubuchon, and welcome back to the Joy of Tennis Teaching. Okay, we've spent a few weeks now discussing all the myths of tennis, but like one young man who is going through PBI training said to me, okay, so we don't teach racket back, we don't teach watch the ball, we don't teach punch the volley, we don't teach toss on the serve, we don't teach turn sideways. What the hell do we teach? Well, it's very simple. We teach the fundamentals of the game. The three fundamentals of sound stroking are contact, use of the opposite hand, and balance. And today I want to talk just for a few seconds about balance, because I think that's the one, even in PBI, we'd often brush over quickly. Either our students were balanced or they weren't. We didn't really do much to help them. But there are many, many exercises that you can do to help a player's balance. But I really think that balance training is going to be the next cutting edge training technique in youth sports. When you watch today's athletes, what are you impressed by? The dynamic movement that they have. The biggest highlight from the National Football League in America in the last year was running back Saquon Barkley, who did two spin moves and jumped over a defensive man trying to tackle him backwards and landing and doing another spin and then continuing his run. Those moves are not available unless you have just elite balance. In the NBA basketball, the spin move is becoming more and more common. It just baffles my mind, because I tried to play basketball for many, many years, and I don't think I could have spun if you gave me a day to spin around. So the idea of balance is incredibly important in every sport. And the definition of balance is very simple. Center of gravity is over your base. So if somebody jumps or spins or moves, how do we tell if they're balanced? By the way that they land. And in tennis today, Wimbledon is coming to a finish this weekend. And if you watch Jannik Sinner, he has the most exquisite balance I've ever seen a player have from the baseline. I mean, he is rock solid when he's going to hit his shots. Carlos Alcaraz, who's my pick to win the tournament, who's still alive in it, has incredible movement and balance and recovery and speed. And Novak Djokovic, whether you're a Federer guy like me or a Rafa guy, we all have to admit that Novak has the numbers as the greatest player of all time. And a lot of it has to do with his incredible movement and balance. So I want you to just think about that. And when you go out on the students, if you have questions about balance and drills you can do, send them to me. But I'm going to finish up with one quick story. It was about, Victor Assad, former PBI pro and a great, great guy, was helping this young professional player out of LA. And we were trying to get her some fundraising money. And Victor asked if I would go along and help. And this young woman, whose name is escaping me at the moment, her father was his coach, and his name was Mike. Great guy. And we went down on the court, and Victor was up talking to this couple that we were trying to get some funding to help this girl travel on the pro tour. And Victor said, just do some drills that show off her speed and athleticism. So I was going to do one of my favorite drills that student Sergio Rico called the punch-out drill, which is where I stand close to the single sideline at the ideal volley position, and I feed one ball far to the opposite corner, and the player has to go side to side, hitting the ball back at me. And I just keep volleying it corner to corner. It's an incredibly difficult and athletic drill. So we went out and we were trying this drill with this young woman, and it wasn't working. She couldn't do it because she kept running past the point of contact. She was off balance on almost every hit. She couldn't control the ball and get it back towards me. So I asked her father, I said, can I give her a little coaching? And he said, yeah, absolutely. So I went over to her and I said, look, you have to stop within your contact area. You can't take a recovery step. So make sure that when you're hitting the ball, excuse me, you've stopped and recovered, and then you'll recover back to the other side. Do you understand what I mean? She nodded her head, yes. We went back over what a difference. She was getting 10, 15, 20 balls, athletic, hard-hitting shots, because now she made it balance. But the thing that was interesting is after the drill, her dad came up to me and said, "You told her to take smaller steps, didn't you?" I've been arguing with her to try to get her to take smaller steps at the baseline for weeks now. And I said, "No, Mike, I didn't tell her that. What I told her was what she had to do to be balanced. And as a good athlete, she chopped up and took the smaller steps in order to accomplish her goal." So go out there, be balanced, and be joyful.